Hi guys, Alex Taylor down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and if you're a beginner who struggles to strike your irons correctly, then this is the video for you. Right guys, so I get a real mixture of experience of golfers coming down to see me, from complete beginners up to professionals, and probably not just with beginners, even guys that have been playing for a while. I think the ability to strike their irons consistently well, is just something that they don't feel is a real strength in their game. So I'm going to run through kind of what I see happening, why I think it happens, and we're going to give you a couple of steps to help you improve striking your irons from the ground. Right then guys, so far too often I see with golfers that they've been working really hard on trying to hold the club well, stand well to the golf ball, and a lot of golfers do a lot of the fundamentals a lot better than they give themselves credit for. But once they set up and they make that swing, they just don't get that strike. They top it, they might hit way behind the golf ball, big divot, but they just don't see that shot that goes in the air in a decent distance on a regular basis. And I think when you're working on trying to enjoy your golf more and build some confidence, you need to see that ball in the air and flying a decent distance every time. So let's talk about, first of all, what doesn't happen with that and why it possibly doesn't happen. So I think when we make good golf swings, and most guys will say when they make a practice swing, they feel a lot of the movement is really, really good. And this is what I speak about with a lot of guys, particularly that are beginners or still relatively inexperienced with the game. We talk about what happens on a good shot. And my first question will be, when you make a good swing, should the club touch the ground at all at the bottom of the swing? And quite surprisingly, a lot of guys will say, no, I don't think it should. And yet when you say, if you watch the guys and girls on TV, what do you notice? And the guys say, well, they definitely take a divot out of the ground, so the club must touch the floor. So the first thing is, most guys that top the ball don't touch the ground at all. And I think part of that as a beginner is a lot of people will come down and they will practice hitting the ball off a tee. And I understand the logic, feels that you don't have to be quite as consistent with how low your swing is to get the ball in the air. But the negative is, on that white tee there, I could swing, hit a lovely shot up in the air, but I'm actually practicing swinging the club back an inch, maybe a little bit more above the ground. Now, that's great that I see some good shots, and possibly that first shot on each hole, we can get the ball going, and it's good. We feel that we can get off the tee, but when I've practiced swinging the club back an inch higher than the ground, there's that cold top every single time. So the first thing I would want you to do, if you're one of these golfers, is I want you to make some practice swings initially and just try and touch the floor. Don't even mind where you touch the floor for now, but you're just going to make some swings and touch the floor. So that was good. That was great. That one I didn't touch the floor. And that one I did. So I think, like every golfer, you will get good at what you work on. So if you work on touching the floor, perfect, you should get good at that. So we're then going to hit a couple of shots, and the only feedback we're going to talk about is, do we touch the floor, yes or no? So I'm going to go through my setup as normal, and my only swing thought then is get that club to touch the floor. Yep, definitely touch the floor. Ball's gone in the air, gone a decent distance. I'm not worried too much about accuracy now, because nice and straight 2 yards in front of you, I don't hear many people raving about how accurate they are with that. So again, let's go one swing, touch the floor. Yeah, and that was great. Now definitely the second one was a much, much better shot than the first one, which then moves us, once you can touch the ground consistently, into the important part of which part of the ground should we touch. Now, every time you're hitting a ball from the floor, and I have done other videos on this, we are looking for the low point of your swing to be after the golf ball. Now my first one there, I definitely caught the mat a little bit early. So I caught behind the ball. So once you're touching the floor, you could maybe set yourself up as though the golf ball is in its regular position, and then maybe just put a tee on the ground 2-3 inches in front, and when you swing, try and touch the floor and the tee at the same time. So I've cleared it out of the way. That was great. Again, do a few of those, feel there's some consistency, and then set up to the golf ball. If you need to begin with, pop that tee 2-3 inches in front, and again, you're going to try and hit the ground where the tee is. That was really good. Definitely a little bit lower as well. So once you can do that, then remove the tee, because any practice drill is only good if you can do it when it's not there as well. So again, I'm going to make that swing and touch the ground in front of the golf ball or after the golf ball. Really good. And I'm not saying you shouldn't ever practice hitting the ball from a tee, because obviously the first shot on each hole is off the tee. But I do think when golfers are new to it, there's too much practice on the tee and we get used to swinging the club up in the air. We need, first and foremost, to get the club touching the floor. Then once we can do that, we need to touch it in the correct place. And if you can do that, you're going to strike the ball much better. You're going to get the ball in the air, you're going to get some good distance, and you are going to start striking your irons well and enjoying your golf more. Right guys, so there you go. A couple of very, very simple concepts. And I think for a lot of you guys out there, it'll actually be that little bit of an understanding as to what's going on, or maybe how some feedback's been bad, or like we said, maybe practicing maybe slightly incorrectly that's really caused those inconsistencies. But put into practice what we've talked about today. If you've enjoyed the video, like and share it. Comment, if you've had a go and it's worked, comment, let me know. If you haven't found you've got the results, equally comment and I can get back to you, maybe offer some more advice. So if you have enjoyed the video though, also click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.